Fire it up, folks. This is BEG Wrestling, baby. We are here. And we're going to be joined momentarily here by Cornell Kevin because we're going to be talking a lot about the National Duals Invitational coming up here in just 2 days. And even more momentarily, Eric Barnett. Eric Barnett, the most recent Claw superstar, folks. Former Wisconsin three-time All-American is going to be joining us. He's going to be talking to us about Wisconsin, about Claw, about how they're in the finals coming up here on November 29th. And, folks, we are live, so join in the comments, dude. Wrestle Madness in the comments. Sign up for Wrestle Madness, dude, for the National Duals Invitational this weekend. Flo's signed up for it, dude. We're signing up. Everyone's signing up for it. Prize if you win. I think Flo's offering like a ping pong match against him or something, dude. But do not miss out. WrestleMadness.com, dude. Sign up to compete. Make your picks. We're going to be talking about it tonight. We're waiting on Cornell Kevin, but until he joins, dude, he's on the line, baby. Let's bring him in. And let's get right to it because he's the biggest star. There he is, dude. There's Cornell Kevin joining us right on cue, baby. Cornell Kevin. He's hot on the mic. Cornell Kevin, how you doing, man?
What's going on?
Cornell Kevin joining us. And look, there it is, folks. There it is. Eric Barnett. Welcome to the show, Eric Barnett. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
You're feeling good, dude. You're looking good. You got quite a good-looking beard there, by the way. Does that bother
nice.
you when you wrestle at all?
No, not at all. I don't think about it. No.
Okay. Well, it clearly didn't bother you here in the semifinals here in the Claw Professional Wrestling League as you pinned Valverdez there to get the match started. Your Leopards go on to a 61-27 victory. I do want to mention, folks, Eric Barnett, if you did do the Wrestle Madness draft for Claw, he's the third most team points scored out of any wrestler, Eric Barnett here, folks. So, wow, did you get a value pick there in your fantasy draft with Eric Barnett? But, Eric, man, tell us about kick it off with just your overall thoughts of Claw, what that experience has been like.
It's been awesome. I absolutely love it. I love the rule set. It's been a blast to be on the Leopards and get to know these guys. It's cool seeing these guys compete while I'm in college, going to all these, they go to different colleges and just seeing them, hearing of them. And now I get to be on a team with some of these guys. And it's just been awesome to be able to compete and alongside these guys. And the rule set is unbelievable for a wrestler like me that just wants to score points. I don't believe in 3-2 matches. I think they're the most boring thing out there, and love the Claw rule set.
Okay, you mentioned the rule set, and then I'll throw it to Kevin. But first, I got to mention that, man, because I noticed in your match that it seems like you did take advantage of that rule set. You chose top in the fourth round, which ultimately you dominated from the top, which led to the pin. I mean, do you feel like you had a better understanding of that rule set, or in general of all the wrestlers, what was that feeling like?
Yeah, and when I got choice in the fourth period, it was a no-brainer that I was picking top. I'll give up the point to go chase a pin all day. Especially for the team. It was a no-brainer for me. It was a no-brainer for my teammates. They were chilling during the 30-second break, telling me just go pin them, dude. Then we get to celebrate.
Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
No, I'm just thankful because I picked him in fantasy and I'm shooting right up. So thank you. I'm going for that grand.
Let's go.
Hey, listen, Russell Madness in the comments. Do you have a preferred nickname?
I've been called E-Bar before. It's not super creative, but that's kind of what stuck.
All right, don't worry, Eric. I'm gonna work on that for you, dude. I'm gonna come up with this because, dude, you are facing Ethan Rotundo here in the finals. Before I get to that, folks, I do want to ask you. So, Angela Ferrari, your general manager, man, have you spoken to him at all? Have you got any input from him leading up to this Super Duel?
He's just been sending good vibes. I haven't even talked to him, but the aura's there. We're fighting for a general manager, and He's getting ready to go compete, go win a national title this year. So it's we kind of got the team on lock. He's kind of the Aura Farm guy for us. We're gonna let him kind of fight for him.
I like it. Listen, as far as the bench is concerned, I would assume that Elam is a big leader on the bench. Is there like a kind of a leader head coach type? Is that you maybe? Who is that on the Leopards bench?
Yeah, I don't want to self-proclaim myself anything, but I've been called captain by a few of my teammates. It's been nice to be on a veteran team, guys that have been there, done that, that are still training, so they're still hungry. It's been good. I think at the end of the day, of all the guys on the team, I think we were all captains of our individual college teams, and now being on the Leopards, it's just helped our chemistry big time.
Okay. Kevin, I was going to read a couple. E-Bar, Edo. How about Wrestle Madness Superstar Net?
I'll take it.
I mean, we can maybe improve on that, but Kevin, you had an accoladed career at Wisconsin, Eric, man. Kevin, go ahead.
One of my the most impressive match I thought was, especially now looking back, was your 9-1 win over Stanich. I mean, because how did you open him up and score points? Because nobody seems to be able to do that. And even in his matches there, I mean, people were getting 2-3 points, and you scored 9 on him.
Yeah, I remember that match pretty clearly, just because it was a get back match. I had a terrible weight cut at Midlands that year. He snuck one on me that first day of Midlands, and that stuck in my head the whole rest of the season. I didn't really want to end up wrestling him again because I should have been, would have liked to have been in the national finals, but ended up getting that rematch. I don't remember how I took him down, but the one thing about me where I won in my career was hand fighting guys. I love to hand fight with guys, and Stanich is a world class hand fighter. That's why he won a world title. That's why I beat Bo Bassett, who is another really, really good hand fighter. I think with my pressure and my ability to get guys, panicking a little bit, just creating action that way, and then just kind of took him down in the first period, and then hit him with a little claw roll through tilt for 4 count, and then I think got a takedown I got a reverse later in the match. I think rode him out for a little bit longer there too.
All right, Eric.
Now, I saw you wrestle. Oh, so go
ahead, Kevin. Finish up. Go.
I saw you wrestle live at Cornell one time, actually, and I got to say it was one of the saddest days of my life. It was the day that Austin Gomez beat Yanni.
Yep. Yeah.
That was pretty wild.
Yeah, that was a really good duel. I actually almost lost that match. Almost got upset, but I ended up pulling that out. Austin beat Yanni. Amos beat,
you beat Unger, right? You wrestled Unger?
Yep.
I think, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and then Hamidi would always just crush Ramirez. He just had his number big time. But yeah, you guys had a really good team that year. It was tough. It was fun to watch.
Yep.
All right, I do want to dive into your Wisconsin teams a little bit, but Christian in the comments says you got to ask about his rivalry with Pat McKee.
Yeah, I mean we wrestled 10 times in college. He won 6, I won 4. Couple times at the national tournament, couple times at the Big Ten tournament, 5 times in duels. I think I lost 3 matches that I was winning by 6 or more points in. So he always had a way to get himself back into matches. He was a pinner, wrestled into some crazy positions, and I think pinned me all 3 of those times, if I remember correctly. He always found a way. But he's a guy too I talked to, after our last national tournament, got a drink with him, talked it up with him, and super good dude. I wish him nothing but the best.
That's cool. That was actually going to be my next question. Are you guys buddies now? Like, how's that rivalry ended?
But, after that history, I think we're good.
Okay. Listen, Quad R in the podcast. How do you feel about the edge rules in Claw?
I like it. I think that's what they should do with freestyle. I think the grounding rule's stupid. Guys game the system. I mean, what is it? Zane Richards made a world team by just gaming the
Yes.
grounding Gilman. I think it's bogus. Like the whole point of it is you're avoiding wrestling. So I love that you drop down to a knee, I put you in a front headlock. You can't just back out and nothing happens. I get my point because I put you there. So I like it a lot.
That, and you're clearly taking advantage of it. Have you done any scouting up to this point on Ethan Rotundo?
I was a college teammate with him for 3 years. So we
A little bit.
Yeah,
But
we
claw
wrestled
style, I don't know, a little different.
claw style. It don't matter. It don't matter to me. I'm gonna go put up points. I wrestled him before the 3-point takedown too. So same thing, neutral. I got some tricks up my sleeve though that he hasn't felt. Obviously, I know all his mannerisms, all his antics and matches, and I'm sure he knows a lot of mine as well. Watching him wrestling the claw duels, just getting a little bit better feel of where he's at now. I haven't wrestled him in a match for I guess 3 years now, but we wrestled probably 50 over the course of 3 years in the Wisconsin room. So yeah.
So very familiar. But 3 years, I don't know, Eric. I don't
Yeah.
know, because
Yeah.
a lot has happened since then, including I want to congratulate you officially. You had a baby girl, man. Congratulations.
Thank
So
you. I appreciate
Awesome.
you better get these matches in now, Eric. Because life's
No,
about to change, man. Well, speaking of that,
yeah.
dude, I want to ask you, like, what is like your day to day now? Like, what's your daily routine? You just had a baby girl. You're doing claw, and you're also
Yeah.
coaching.
Yep. I want to shout out my wife for she's a superstar. Um, she allows me to pursue this and pursue my dreams. Of competing, training for world teams, Olympic teams, being a coach, pouring back into the sport. So can't thank her enough for allowing me to do this. But right now, running a club up in Northeast Wisconsin, just south of Green Bay. It's called the Complete Wrestler. Idea for me is that wrestling is great, learning moves is awesome, but also applying it into the real world. So that's kind of what our mission is. And then I'm also training in the Wisconsin RTC, training with those guys, helping coach them, just getting them primed and ready to go this year. So that's kind of what I'm up to now.
Okay, I got to ask you a follow up question because I loved what I just heard. The Complete Wrestler, right? But you're talking about not only wrestling, but also applying that to the real world. I mean,
Mm.
tell me a little bit more about that because, dude, that's right down my alley. I love hearing that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it actually started for me in college. I partnered up with Alec Ingold, who's the fullback for the Dolphins. He's up from my neck of the woods. He was a guest coach at one of our duels when we wrestled Northern Iowa. Met him there, talked to him, told him my idea, and he was on board. Helped me start the whole Complete Wrestler. But at the end of the day, I'm super blessed to be able to do this for a living. I wrestle and I coach for a living. This is everything that I do. Understanding that is not everybody's life, and there is a life after wrestling for people. And just getting them primed and ready to go. The biggest things are understanding that whether you win or lose, you still got a family that loves you. You still got other hobbies. Sun's gonna come up, at the end or the tomorrow. Sun's still gonna come up whether you win or lose a match. And for me in my career, that it just allowed me to be more free in the way I competed, win or lose, heartbreak or triumph. Right, I was always had the mindset of don't get too high, don't get too low, trying to remain as stoic as possible, and just trying to relay that message to all the athletes I interact with, whether it's at my club or if it's at camps or wherever I'm at around the country.
Yeah, that's incredible, Eric. I mean, that is exactly what we need more of across the country. And I'll tell you this, man, that little baby girl is going to change your life. And but Kevin, I throw it to you. You got any final questions for Eric? Because I believe you got practice here in like 10,
Yeah,
15 minutes, right?
yeah, I'm ready to rock.
Yeah, two things real quick. I gotta say, first of all, when I heard the claw rule set, I thought you're the perfect mold for this style. Do you feel the same way where you kind of like this is all right up my alley? This is exactly what I'd like to go for because you just seem to fit the profile perfectly for the rules.
Yeah, I mean, it's incentive to wrestle, man. I said it in an interview before. If I had this rule set, if this was the college rule set, I'm a national champ, I think, a couple times. I was best when action happened. I never won. My semis was a great example of it. I didn't win 3-2 matches. I never did. And since the time I was 10 years old, I wanted to wrestle. I wanted to get into positions. I'm super creative, shifty, good hip. So those always play into me when I can get into wrestling positions. And then just incentive to get on top. That was where I made my money in college, was a top position. So ability to, at minimum, I get a full period on top, opportunity to go turn and pin people. And then if, it falls my way and I get to pick in the fourth period, going in the fourth period, all I got to do is give up a point to go choke somebody on top again and try and turn them and pin them. That's all I need.
Well, you gotta.
I also want to let you know real quick that I was looking at your years through WrestleStat, and I had to put a complaint in there. I told them, I go, you can't stop this guy at 99, man. Go through, count one of those matches, 100 career wins. Uh-oh, where'd he go?
There
I'm back. They got me at 99 wins on there.
Yeah, I told them, get it up to 100. You're 100.
Yeah. I'm over 100 for sure. There's some missing on there. I think I was at like
I
105
agree.
or something like that.
Okay, we
So I
will
just wanted to
contact them.
clarify that you're over 100 and get it out there.
Yep.
All right, we'll contact them. Maybe we can include some of these claw matches because, folks, he's got a big one coming up on November 29th, the Super Duel in Pittsburgh. BEG is going to be giving out 2 free tickets here sometime in the next week.
Let's go.
Not sure how, but Eric, I'll be there live, so I'll be seeing you live, dude.
Let's go.
We'll be there.
You versus Rotundo. Leopards versus, let me put up the other score here. Do you have any comments, Eric, before I let you go on this other match? Cicadas over the Hammers 45-42, or any matches overall, maybe?
I'm gonna say bet the house on the Leopards. I got no comments about the Cicadas. I think we're a good team. I think we're primed and ready to go. We got a group chat where we talk about our training schedules and everything. Everybody's fired up and ready for this opportunity.
That's awesome.
So get to your local casino and bet the house on the Leopards.
Bet the house on the Leopards, baby. I love it, dude. That's what I'm doing, Eric. I tell you right now. WrestleMadness.com. Make your picks, folks. Not only that, but this weekend at the National Duals Invitational. Eric, you've been incredible, man. I want to thank you. And you got practice. You got a little baby girl, and you're a Vikings fan, and your wife is a Packers fan. So there will be a lot of testy times here in the near future, right? I don't think you heard me. Maybe they're real testy times. Can you hear me, Eric? All right. Eric Barnett, folks, we lost you. But we're going to move on here, and I'll touch base with him afterwards. He was a good interview, Kevin. What do you think of him? Well, now we lost Kevin. Kevin, you here? I might be the only person here. I don't even know if I'm here right now. But if I am, we're going to move on because we got National Duals Invitational. And let's hang tight 1 second here. See if we can get Kevin back in here, folks. Let's try this again. Everyone's here. Okay, so people are online. I'm still live. Yikes, dude. Unbelievable technical difficulties here. In the meantime, go to WrestleMadness.com and get your picks in for the National Duals Invitational this weekend. Okay, here's the schedule we're looking at, dude. And I got the breakdowns of every single lineup. And that's insane that they both went out the same time. What are the odds of that? I mean, it makes me think that there he is, dude. Okay, we're back.
I've been calling.
What
Sorry,
are the
man.
odds?
I don't know what happened.
I don't
All of a
either.
sudden, I was like, everyone's frozen, but it's just me.
Maybe my internet went out because Barnett texted me, sorry, got kicked out. So maybe the guest, I don't know. But that was Eric Barnett, dude. He was incredible. Kevin, I asked you
What
right
an
before you
awesome
went out.
guy.
Yeah, what you thought
Yeah.
of him, man? He was a good guy.
Yeah, really cool, man. Really cool. I love meeting these guys, and I love when they're cool like that, you know? It just really makes you become a fan if you weren't prior. So, yeah, good dude.
Yeah. And, hey, we'll be talking to him, I'm sure, again here in the near future, November 29th, the Super Duel, folks. It is the Cicadas versus the Leopards. It is the beat the streets guys up against Angelo Ferrari. So, speaking of Angelo Ferrari, Kevin, we got some big dog matchups happening this weekend, dude, starting in 2 days Saturday, dude. And we're here to talk about it. Kick us off, man. Here I got the schedule on Flow. You can find it all on Flow. There's the schedule, dude, and we have the individual team breakdowns. You want to get right into some of these team first-round matchups, Kevin, or kick us off with your thoughts?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you know, it sounded like these coaches are going to, for the most part, put their guys right in there, you know. The one that, you know, we're dying to see is the Ferrari and Aiden Sinclair. Obviously, I'm hoping that regardless of what the score might be in the duel, they put the wrestlers out there, right? I hope that if it's a blowout, they don't not put them out there. But I think it's kind of funny what Tom Ryan did. If you heard the interview, he was like, I can guarantee you that we're all of us coaches are going to put our number one guys out there, kind of like little reverse psychology there, right? Kind of putting the pressure on everybody.
Yeah, okay. We got to actually take a second to talk about the Tom Ryan interview. I've been seeing people responding hardcore both ways on Tom Ryan. The Penn State fans, which people were saying, I'm a Penn State hater. Dude, I'm not a Penn State hater, dude. I'm just a fair game guy, dude, okay? But Penn State hater, come on, dude. Anyway, but people saying Tom Ryan should not be saying this. Then there's other people saying he should be. Where's the right side of the fence to be on this, Kevin?
I don't know. You know, it's one of those things where, yeah, you can feel that way, and but you can't really argue with what they do at Penn State. You know, sure, does it help grow the sport or whatever? The way I look at it is, you know what, they just sent 7 guys on the U23 World Team. Would we have rather had them not go to that and go to this? I'm not saying you can only choose one or the other. I understand that there's, you know, can be wrestlers that went to both, but I'm glad they went to the U23 and did their thing, and we didn't send the usual team out there where we end up with like 2 medals. I think it's something that the pressure has been on with the media, and it's something that they're going to have to entertain next year. You know, I mean, in the press conference for Penn State, he was very much like, well, you know, I mean, it could be something, you know, next year, but it sounds almost like they wanted to be more involved with the whole logistics and everything of it.
Okay, you just reminded me, there was a couple words in Cale's press conference that he said very quickly that I thought got overshadowed, and it was something along the lines of a hidden incentives. And he said it real quick and then kind of glazed over it and said, maybe we'll do it. But it told me, dude, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with when they scheduled it, where they scheduled it, and there's probably more to why Penn State's not doing it than we know. I'm sure there's a lot more. And so for that fact, can I say I think it's fair game for Tom Ryan to say that, and I also think it's fair game for Cale to not participate, dude. As much as we want Penn State to participate, I'm saying it because I want to see it as a fan, but I think as a coach of Penn State, I also think it's fair, dude. You are the big dog, dude. I don't have to do nothing. Why do I have to do anything different, dude? We are on top of the mountain. You all got to do different stuff if you want to catch us, is how I would feel if I'm Cale. And quite frankly, dude, if I'm Tom Ryan, that is exactly the kind of stuff I would also be saying, because you got to poke the bear. You got to, how do you get the king off the mountain, dude? You got to keep poking him, and I don't know, let's get some media pressure going on. You know what I mean? You got to do stuff like that. So in a weird way, Kevin, I actually like I like Tom Ryan saying that. I like Kale holding his ground and also slipping a little. What maybe the two words were hidden incentives, I believe.
Yeah, he's if you listen to his press conference, there's a whole lot of jumbo stuff you have to read between the lines, Um, and like Ralph from Quad R there said, they don't. It's more exciting almost with them not there. All right, we don't know who's going to win this. Okay, we don't know if it's going to be Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma State, or Ohio State. We don't know. If Penn State goes there, we know. You can hate on them as much as they want, but they're going to smoke everybody, right? Um, so yeah, I think that it's something you will see them in. If it was like completely like regular, if the NCAA was actually putting it on and it was a team title, they would obviously be in there. They're not going to pass that up. But the one thing I thought was kind of obnoxious was what Tom Ryan kept mentioning about the timing of it. He kept saying, is it the right timing? No, and it's just like that's just a no-win situation as far as the timing. I mean, because you put it in January, it's what there people say, well, it's in the middle of our conference schedule. There's never going to be a right time. I've heard people even say the fall semester have a dual thing, and then the spring semester have a individual season. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but you know what? At least the ball's rolling. This is something we've been begging for fans for over a decade. So all the people that are, bitching and moaning about, oh, it's, people aren't going to put their best guys in. Penn State's not going to, just, go dump on another parade. Like, I just want to see some good wrestling, and it's better than not having it.
Yeah, well, I'm very excited to watch this. The one final note on Kale's press conferences, they remind me a lot of like a Bill Belichick's. 98% of what they say is absolute fluff, but there's about 2% in there, and to me those two words were the hidden incentive. Who has the hidden incentive? Well, obviously he's probably talking about Oklahoma State and David Taylor, dude. Like, yeah, they did just strongman this, and it's gonna be in our house on our timeline. And yeah, dude, if I'm Kale, I probably am not. But listen, let's get right into it, folks. Let's the first matchup you mentioned it, dude. It's Iowa versus Missouri, and I also want to give a shout out, dude, for these graphics to the College Wrestling Report on X, because it's where I stole all these. So thank you, College Wrestling Report, dude, for these graphics. Very well done. But this is our first matchup we want to talk about, dude. Obviously highlighted by the Angelo Ferrari, Aiden Sinclair. Everyone's waiting to see it, Kevin. Any other big ones here that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, man. The 25-pounder from Missouri is not bad at all. He's pretty good. And the thing that's really crazy is Seth Mendoza, 157. Where did that come from? I think that it's just because they have a huge hole there, and they're kind of in a spot where, it's just crazy to think about a team of this caliber not having someone to put into the middle of the lineup at a way to middle of the lineup. But I don't think Seth Mendoza is someone that's going to be going in there weighing 160 pounds, 157. I think he's going to be super light, but he's really good. I'm curious to see how he makes out at the heavier weight. But yeah, Evan Bates is tough. The heavyweight matchup's going to be good. But yeah, I think Iowa's pretty much going to smoke them. I think but I wouldn't be shocked if Peterson lost. I don't know why I feel that, but I just think that if you haven't seen Mugger wrestle yet, he's really good.
Upset alert there at 125 there. That's Iowa, Missouri kicking off at 10 a.m. Eastern time, I believe. But all right.
Yeah.
Next matchup I want to look at is going to be UNI and NC State. Any matchups here, Kevin, that stand out?
This is kind of funny. On the Bader show there, they had Trent Hidley and Parker Keckeisen on, and it was funny. They were talking back and forth and about who they thought were going to win. But NC State is a really good team this year. UNI kind of they graduated some key guys. But Sima versus Singleton, Absolutely a good match. But the matches that I'm curious about, and a lot of it is going to be the same kind of storyline, are the young guys. Will Denny. How good is Will Denny? We're gonna find out because he's got Ryder Downey right off the bat, who is
Yeah.
scrappy and real tough and will make you fight for every point. That's going to be a good indicator right there. And the first two guys there, Anderson and Farber, are really, really tough. Anderson's someone that can run with Robinson, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Corey Land, one of the biggest high school recruits, someone that just had an awesome high school career. He went into college, he had some issues, some stuff, but when on point, he is very good. I'm curious to see where he's at. I want to see, is he a filled out 41 pounder now? Where's his mind? And I hope that it's in the right spot and we see the Corey Land, reach his full potential. But yeah, going up and down this lineup, I think 165 is the weight I'm most curious about.
Because of Will Denny. Interesting. I was going to mention 125 here, Trevor Anderson, Vincent Robinson. Want to see where they're at here, but okay, that is a fire matchup there. UNI, dude. Okay, let's go UNI, dude. They got a great environment there at home. But moving on, here's your boys, Kevin. Cornell going up against Oklahoma State. Dude, tell us what's going to happen here.
Do I have to? Listen, I know that half the guys are coming in December 21st, but it's not a huge gap in most of the weights. You got Milani in there instead of Greg Diakomahalis. Those two are pretty close. Ferrara might beat Unger out for the spot. I'm not convinced Unger wins that. Joshua Saunders and Vince Cornella, I think there's a little bit of a gap there. Joy, I think, will keep the spot. The big gap is Benny Rogers and Meyer Shapiro. However, Benny Rogers just lost to Melvin Miller in the finals of the Clarion Open, only 9-6. So Kenny Rogers, who knows? Listen, I think that Ruiz and Facundo is the match you want to see here. I think there's no denying that. I think it's going to be a great match. I like Ruiz, regardless if I'm a Cornell fan or not. But I'm wondering, that might be the only match that they get. Kind of a good storyline here is, remember, Vega the flipper. Vega flipped. Vega was with Cornell practicing with Yanni and Vito all summer, getting everything. And Oklahoma State kept calling. He kept saying no. And then finally he said yes. So I'm curious if there's a little bit of added pressure on the young freshman for this one, just because of that. And Joshua Saunders is not a scrub by any means. He's made a U17 world team, U20 world team, U23 world team. He's a national qualifier, won a match at NCAAs. So he beat Josh Edmond last year. He majored Josh Edmond last year. So that's not a gimme match for Vega. Vega looked really good, but Vega teched someone that I think Vega should have teched in that last duel. Cornell guys in this lineup to look out for. Marcelo Milani only lost 1-0 to Macron at the Clarion Open. He wrestled tough. Jackson Joy and Swiderski. That's going to be interesting. Which Swiderski shows up? The one at the All-Star Classic or the one in the dual meet? Because I think if the All-Star Classic Swiderski shows up, then I think Swiderski wins that. But absolutely not if the one that showed up at the dual meet. But yeah, and then Sergio at 165, real tough kid. He made the U20 World Team Challenge Tournament Finals. Very good. Had a good gray shirt year. I don't think he's got enough offensive power to put points on Lockett, though. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. But yeah, I'm looking at this like 32-3, 30-6, somewhere around there for the final score.
Oh, gut punch, Cornell fans. But listen, I'm looking forward to Vega. I want to see this revenge tour, Vega or Cornell. Let's see that. And also, I want to see Swiderski. Will the real Swiderski stand up, please? Right? And keep your eyes out for this Robideau kid, because that he could be a problem there at 157.
Absolutely. And Zach, like the one thing I noticed is everybody that wrestled in that All-Star Classic that wrestled Friday on the 7th did not look good. You look at Swiderski, right? Daniel Cardenas, Gavin or Hunter or Garvin there, right? Who was the other one? Oh, Zach Ryder. Those four guys all wrestled in the All-Star Classic. They did not look good. Bird only won 3-0 over a guy that's not ranked. Shawver only won by a couple points, and then Pinto got majored. So I'm not saying it makes sense, but it's kind of a, I'm
listen.
not gonna just put too much into those matches with those guys.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's predict a bounce back for those guys this week, Zach Ryder included. Before we move on, Wrestle Madness, what's the story with Greg Diakomaholis real quick, Kevin?
Yeah, he got injured last year. It's a common theme. He's a very light. His kid weighs 120 pounds soaking wet, right? But he has the talent. He's beaten Ventresca. He's beaten Sotelo 14-3. He's pinned Terrakina. He has the talent. If he stays healthy, watch out. He was 9-0 last year and he got hurt. If he stays healthy, he can make the podium. But that's a big if.
Okay.
He will be back December 21st with the rest of the crew, though.
Diakomaholis, remember the name. Big if, though. All right, we got to move on here. Let's talk about Lehigh going up against Nebraska. And we just got to simply talk more Nebraska wrestling around here, Kevin.
Yeah. It's they put something special together last year, and they hadn't been doing that. They've been dropping off at NCAA's, and then they put it all together last year. And now looking at their team up and down, and then you add Ferrari in there. Wow. Minto is scary good. Minto, that major he had over Wask looks even better now because Wask went and majored Pinto. The thing that stinks with Lehigh is they're obviously missing some people, right? They're missing Stanich, they're missing Crookham, they're missing their heavyweight trailer. So those are, three guys right there that are a huge difference. I'm not familiar with their 149 pounder. I don't know if he won the spot or if I forget his name. The one guy there, they got the pins, tons of pins. He's not in there, but a couple guys I want you to watch out for Lehigh are Rylan Rogers and JT Davis at 84.97. These two guys are sneaky good. Rylan Rogers was in a lot of one takedown matches last year, and he's got a very good defense, and I'm picking him to upset Silas Allred in this one.
Get out of here, dude.
Yeah, definitely. I am.
So is Wrestle
I
Madness.
like the way this kid wrestles.
Wow.
Huh?
So is Wrestle Madness.
Yeah, Wrestle Madness. There we go.
Okay.
He's 6-0. He's good. I watched him wrestle Foco one time, and it was like a 2-1 match. The kid is really good. No one's giving him any credit. Max Brignola is not exactly sneaking up on anyone anymore. He was in the All-Star Classic, but that's a coin flip. Oh, another guy. Look, upset alert, 157. He's really good. Logan from Lehigh there. He's very good. He was a true freshman last year, national qualifier. He did not get bonused one match. Nobody bonused him. He's someone that could, Antrell Taylor hasn't exactly been, lighting up the scoreboard yet this year. He's won a couple match, a lot of decisions and stuff, right? With guys who you'd think he'd win more. But early in the year, who knows? But I think that 157 match is going to be really good, but it's going to be very, very low scoring. Both guys very defensive. But when you got a match like that, anything can happen at the end.
Yeah. Okay. Potential upset alert there, 157. If not, Taylor's just winning by decision for your Wrestle Madness picks, folks.
Yeah.
Moving on, let's look at these Michigan Wolverines. The rejuvenated Michigan Wolverines, and I guess you could maybe say that about Arizona State with some of these recruits they've gotten lately, but what do you think about this matchup?
Is anybody even talking about Michigan, right? I don't hear anyone talking about them, and look at their lineup. Someone I know from being in New York is Cam Canterbone, right? My buddy's kid wrestled with him all the time. They trained everywhere. and he is real tough. His senior year, he wrestled PJ Duke in the finals of the Eastern States, and he lost to him 2-1. And Duke smoked everyone else, obviously. But Cam Canterbone wrestled 49 last year. He only lost to Echmandia 4-2 at CKLV, and he had a couple other really good matches. So watch out for him. He's very good. Then they got Lachlan McNeil. They got Ragusan back. I hope that he's healthy and wrestles. The Matt Nona brothers, which are fireworks anytime those guys go out. How can you not like watching them? And then they get Tay Gadiali in there. I mean, woof, that's a good, and Diego Sotelo as a transfer too. You know, Bormé knows how to get those transfers in, doesn't he?
Hey, Bormé is he's certainly improving the Michigan Wolverine wrestling room, that's for sure. Montanona brothers, dude, are who I'm keeping my eye on, along with Gadiali. I want to see him progress as year goes through.
Should be interesting seeing the Larkin brothers wrestle. I don't know why they had them in the fresh soft division at the tournament they went to. Kind of strange. They had, you know, the journeyman. They put them in the freshman sophomore division. It's like, what? But yeah, they got a really young team. Pearson Manville. I mean, everybody's heard of his name. You know, he's had a ton of success. Nico Ruiz is a very exciting wrestler to watch. Always very fun to watch. It seems like he can put anyone on their back. But I'm curious to see how, you know, 33, 41, 49, how do they look in this lineup? How are they going to come out and look? Because if they all have really good seasons, then Arizona State is a much more respectable team than what they've let on. But Michigan is going to pretty much pounce on them for this duel, I think.
Yeah, keep your eye. A lot of people commenting on the Montanona brothers. Last year, I believe we only got to see like one or the other, right? One got hurt, the other replaced the other.
Yeah, one got hurt.
This year we get them both, folks. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so confusing too, because it's like, you know, same first initial of their name, and then they were the same weight. It was just crazy.
Yeah. Double
but I'm
dose
curious
of
to see if Brock. I'm curious to see if Brock is a true like 184 pounder. But man, they're getting bigger.
Yep.
They're fun.
Okay. All right, moving on, folks. Here we go. We're talking about Virginia Tech going up against Minnesota here, dude. And Virginia Tech, obviously a hot topic here late. But what are your big matchups here, Kevin?
This whole duel, this is probably the best duel in the first round. Right off the bat, Eddie Ventresca and Jory Volk. I remember last year, Jory Volk at the All-Star Classic, he looked so good last year. I was like, man, this guy looks like he can win a title, but then he got injured. Eddie Ventresca is somebody that can win a title. Both these two guys, I'm not shocked if either one of them is an NCAA champion at the end of the year, to be honest with you. I mean, neither one of them would be shocked. Dylan Campbell is a stud. Last tournament he was in, he beats his semifinal was 11-0, his final was 11-0, and he beat was it Braxton Brown? Yeah, who never gets bonus. He beats him 11-0 in the final, and then in the dual meet he had a tech fall. He's been just smoking everybody. He's got Chris Cannon. Now Cannon, everybody's written him off, but he is an All-American. And he was up at 141 last year, and he's back down to 133. So let's see what happens, right? Maybe maybe just 141 wasn't the way. He had some injuries going on, but he's not someone that you can just, skim over. He's is an All-American. Charlie Millard is someone that he's got a win over Cody Chittum. He was a red shirt last year. A lot of people really like him. I think that Sparks should beat Church without any issue. Riddle and Sergio, I believe they wrestled last week in a tournament. And I can't remember off the top of my head who won, but that's it. That's going to be a great match. McAnally, I think, will just blow by Bullock. Sasso and Nelson, I want to say they wrestled too. I apologize for not being able to remember that, but so pretty much, I think the good matches here are 285, 197, 174, and really the first three weights. I mean, there's not a lot of cruddy matches. It's kind of funny how they're both seem to be the weakest at 149. But yeah, there's like 7 good matches in here.
A lot of comments. This is the best, the match of the first round here. And if you look at these, yeah, quite a few even matchups here. I'm most looking forward to 125 Ventresca Jor Volk. But yeah, obviously I'm keeping my eye on McAnally, man. Chael Sonnen got me all worked up, dude, talking about him gonna ragdoll Angelo. Now got me all worked up. I'm keeping my eye on McAnally now, dude. But yeah, Sparks there, Millard. This will be a fun duel meet, dude, and this is a duel. So if you had to pick, dude, who do you pick to come out of this, Kevin?
I think man,
I'm going Virginia Tech.
I'm gonna go with Virginia Tech.
No, you
I know
would right
everyone's
after
picking
I said
Minnesota. Hey, by the way, Riddle beat Riddle won that match 16-10 when they wrestled last week at the
DeSanti
Southeast
looking
Open.
for revenge.
So that
DeSanti
was
on a
a
revenge tour
26 points they put up, and then Gavin Nelson, he beat Sasso 7-0. Gavin Nelson did.
Okay.
So now all of a sudden I'm going, Minnesota.
All right, that's fine, dude. I got DeSanti on a revenge tour, dude. He's gonna turn the tables. I'm going Virginia Tech, but two more matchups here, folks. It's Ohio State and Wyoming. Tom, Hot Topic Ryan, and his Ohio State squad is certainly inclined that he was sending his best team, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got to now, right? And I don't know what that means for 125. Does that mean Brandon McCrone, or does that mean, Nick Bouzakis? I believe that Nick Bouzakis will have that spot at the end of the year. I really do.
But we've talked before about this. A sneaky good Ohio State team here, Kevin.
Oh yeah, they could win the whole thing. They could win not the whole thing. NCAA tournament, but this tournament they could win this tournament. I mean, look at their guys. Every one of them is ranked. Their lowest ranked guy is 18th, and Patty Gallagher is having an excellent year. He won the Clarion Open. They got Dylan Fishback inserted in there, and Giaj is really good this year. I know he wrestled Jude Carrera from the Cornell Glacier at the Clarion Open. He beat him 10-8, and Jude Carrera pinned everyone else like in the first period, including Shoemate. He beat pinned in the first period. We got a old Super 32 final here between Nick Feldman and Christian Carroll.
Oh, I was going to say, man, that's the one I'm looking forward to. Where is Christian Carroll? Where's his head at, dude? Because, I mean, last year, dude, we were talking about him being on the brink of stardom. And,
yeah,
he's got to get right.
He should have never been a 197-pounder. I understand that he's short, but I was hearing that he was sucking like 35 pounds or something ridiculous. And that's enough to make anyone go mad, And especially, you don't have to do that now, because you look at the heavyweight landscape and they're all tweeners. All the good ones are, 240, right? So I don't know. I think that this is just going to be a blowout, but yeah, we'll see.
Ohio State, keep your eye on Ohio State, folks. Title threat here, or champion of the National Duals Invitational threat. Moving on, finally, we got Illinois and Little Rock. Kevin, I mean, I'm rooting for my boy Cannon Webster, dude, but what are you looking forward to here?
Well, if I could just have a wand and just kind of switch this tournament, I would probably take Little Rock and Wyoming out and put Iowa State in, along with somebody else. But, they're going to have to figure out if this is the same kind of, they're never going to get it perfect, right? At least they're going by something. They're going by last year's results in the NCAA tournament, which is a tournament scoring instead of dual. But, and it's crazy to think, though, Lehigh wouldn't even have been in here if they didn't get a lotto ball. So, teams get injured like Iowa State, but Iowa State's clearly one of the best, 6 or 7 teams in here. So hopefully we figure that out. But this, again, is going to be a blowout. I know Little Rock lost a couple guys over to Iowa. They're their best guys, really, 2 of their best guys. I'm curious to see in this matchup, really not a whole lot, to be honest with you.
165, best matchup here, Scholes and Bianchi, right? To me, 165 is going to be the matchup, the weight class to look at here. But
yeah, I didn't see that. Scholes is a pinner, too. Scholes
that could be fun.
Pinner.
That could be fireworks.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Listen, we are running a little long. Folks, I want to remind everyone that This is all happening. Look at that. Look at and one final thank you to the College Wrestling Report on X, Twitter, for those graphics. I want to make sure we give him credit because I stole them. I just stole them, Kevin. But I will not give you credit, folks, if I use your graphic.
Did you see the graphic? The graphic I put up for this? I thought it was so cool. I was really proud of it, and because they had all these wild looking mascots and people loved it. But then this one dude, he did it in a really nice way. He's like, Kev, I'm only saying this because I love you. When it started off like that, I'm like, oh boy. He's like, but he spelled stipend wrong, and the bear, meaning the Cornell bro, he's got 5 legs.
All right,
And
so
he did.
Kevin did not get a degree in graphic design, folks.
Hey man.
But
It was
one
funny.
couple
I
other final notes here before we wrap up. Bo Nickel been removed from the main card for this weekend's UFC fight, dude. Do you have any thoughts on that, dude? And
I honestly didn't even know. That's
well, he didn't. He
why?
said he
Why
got a
did he
little
get
too
moved?
arrogant, and apparently fans complained to a level that they actually removed him from because they said he doesn't deserve to be on the main card. That's
So
wild
how
stuff.
did he get arrogant? Did he say something
It was on the
stupid
that Ari show, dude. And yeah. So, wow. But chip on your shoulder maybe now, Bo? Let's get a chip on your shoulder now. Let's come out with some dog in you.
Or maybe he's like, you know what? I mean, I don't think he's gone too far deep, but he did wrestle at the raft thing. Maybe wants to take a turn and head back over. I wonder how Bo thinks in his head he would be competing with yo, what's up?
I'm on the air.
I wonder how Ralph, what's going on?
Ralph from Quad R just joined us. Kevin, finish up your thought before we go to Ralph.
Yeah, I just was wondering. I wonder how in Bo's head he thinks if he's in wrestling shape and in the swing of things, how he matches up against a Hidley or a Valencia. I wonder in his head, does he think that if he's hitting wrestling hard, can he compete with those guys because they're world champions, right? So, maybe this is something that kind of scoots him back over to wrestling a little bit. I don't know.
I do know this, folks. The UFC card this weekend is fire. So
you're
going to want to watch that along with the National Duals.
Sure.
But here, let's close out the show with Ralph from Quad R Pod. Ralph, how you doing?
So I am good. My brother Roy, who wrestled at Penn and is a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, says jiu-jitsu ruins your wrestling. So I feel like Bo is in like both worlds. I mean, and it's really, really tough because like Roy says, it's so hard to wrestle after you do jiu-jitsu because like, you're working off your back and everything. It destroys your timing. It destroys your takedown. So I feel like Bo has not looked exceptional in RAF. I mean, I don't know if you guys feel that way, but I feel like it hasn't been like the Bo Nickel exciting explosion, like here's the guy. So he's living in both worlds. I think that like, this is another tough fight for him, and I think that it's interesting to find out like where does Bo land? Because he spent a lot of time commentating. He spent a lot of time I don't know, like to me, I thought he was a perfect heel because it just came natural to him, like he's just arrogant.
But he cares too much. He almost cares too much, right?
And then in the UFC, he played this perfect heel. He came back to RAF and he decided to go more like he started wearing like clothes like his mom dressed him and stuff, and he's got this I'm going to be on the mic, and like it's doing this whole different thing, and like I don't know where he's at headwise, but I don't think he's in like a fighting space headwise personally. I think that like this is it'll be interesting to see what happens. If he wins, it'll change my mind, but I predict that Bo Nickel this will be Bo Nickel's last MMA venture.
Wow,
that's
bold prediction out of Ralph, dude.
Right.
Hey, he makes some very valid points, man, because, look, you can't be a tweener. You can't be the greatest. How many people are great at more than one thing, okay? You can't be a tweener. You're either going to do jiu-jitsu or you're going to wrestle at rap or you're going to do UFC. What are you going to do? You can't get that's a valid point.
Yeah, he's got to realize, too, like, it's weird. To me, it's weird that he, is training himself, right? Like, he doesn't have – you think out of anyone, he would have somebody, in the field that would be training him. And then, but yeah, he didn't look good at the RAF card. I mean, yeah, he beat Cardenas, but only because Cardenas total knucklehead move there, tries to gut when he's winning. Have you ever watched Bo Nickel wrestle? You don't do that. But Bo it seems like he doesn't want to wrestle in his matches, in his fighting matches. He's trying not to wrestle, and it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I agree with Ralph. I mean, if this goes real bad for him, this could be it, you know.
I love it. That is a
Yeah.
bold prediction. Ralph, before we
Well-
close this out, give us your final thoughts on Bo and maybe some National Duals Invitational thoughts. going
So
into
super
this weekend.
excited for the National Duels. I think that we all don't know what to expect, and yet we do know what to expect. And like when you start looking at the Oklahoma State, Iowa, when you start looking at Nebraska and Ohio State, you're like, yeah, really, this could go a lot of different ways. And like, it's going to give us so much storylines, right? We're going to have a dual champion, but also we're going to have so many things coming out of the weekend. We're excited. I mean, it's kind of like Cliff Keen was before, where we got these matchups, and then all of a sudden, like Younger beats Davidson, or like people like, I mean, and so the great thing about it, I think, is it just sets us up for an awesome season, and for like people who like to talk about wrestling, it's going to give us a million things to talk about. So that's like the best thing about it. But Bo's standpoint, I think Bo's future's in commentating. I know that sounds bad, but like, you know, it's just what I'm looking at, you know.
There
But he's
seems
the
to
RAF
be a lot of
champion,
people
right?
that don't care for him. Yeah.
Hey, now don't make this personal, Cornell Kevin. Like,
No, I'm
I
just
didn't
saying.
say
There
I didn't
seems to
say I
be a
You
lot
dislike
of
better
people
watch
Bo.
that
out, Ralph.
don't-
You want to? Yeah, you're
There's
gonna
a
offend
lot
some
of
Penn State
people that-
fans.
that don't.
That's okay.
I'm not saying I don't. I'm not saying I dislike. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that he rubs the wrong
You
way.
kind of said I
apparently.
dislike him. That's all I'm saying.
No.
I'm
Don't,
just trying to
don't
make
do
an
that to me.
evaluation.
All right, folks,
No,
listen,
it's
we're
all
gonna
fun.
find out. We're gonna find out if Bo Nickel has found his right headspace this weekend. We're gonna find out a
Right.
lot, as Ralph mentioned, dude. Not only teams, all these individual matchups that we're gonna be able to follow up on. And I want to say this, folks. You know what we haven't even talked about? The schools that are gonna win the money. We haven't even talked about the money that these schools get, which I think is incredible, man. Because you know, that was the initial incentive, but now, dude, it's just so many ancillary things going on for us wrestling fans to talk about it, dude. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. You need some cash
Wrestle
register
Madness.
effects, man.
One
Wrestle
final
Madness
comment, dude.
comment.
Wrestle Madness. Tell Ralph that the Tour de France called and wants their hat back. Wow. Oh, my
I
goodness.
just grabbed one.
Look at that thing. What is it? Great
Oh,
Britain,
man.
baby. Ralph calling in
Ellen-
from Great Britain.
USA needs to like create some cyclists.
There we go.
There you go.
Ralph, I love it,
Clean-
man.
clean
I love
ones.
the call in. Kevin,
All right.
always appreciate your work. Folks, we had Eric Barnett on. He
Thanks,
was
guys.
incredible tonight.
Yeah.
And
that was
we
great.
might just be back tomorrow night live with my dad and then again Saturday. But, folks, this season, 'tis the season. And I ain't talking about Christmas.
Let's
We're talking about the
go.
National Duals Invitational. So thanks for watching, folks. I got kids to put to bed. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
So, yeah.